Good evening, everyone. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful day so far. I got a good one for you today. Jagmeet Singh is back in the House of Commons doing an interview on the new and improved Pharmacare bill that just passed the other day. So, what we got for you here is the interview, and we'll review Bill C-64 and see what this thing actually is. So, if you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. And with no further ado, let's get into it.
On Fridays, I did not see this before. Okay, wow, I did not know that. Maybe I feel overdressed now. He's like, no, I don't believe in that. I hope none of this is going on air. This is not the most professional. Folks, I'm actually very excited. Probably you can tell from my little excited demeanor. We have been able to achieve something New Democrats have fought for generations. This has been a long dream of New Democrats since Tommy Douglas. We've dreamed of making sure our healthcare system would include medication coverage. And now, Pharmacare is the law of the land. It's passed in the Senate. It's got royal assent. And what it's going to mean for people is why we're so excited. But now that it's passed, I want to tell you a bit about the journey of how we got here, a little bit of behind the scenes. This was a fight. Every step of the way, it was a fight with Justin Trudeau and the Liberals. They did not want to do this. And it's not hard to believe. They voted against Pharmacare 3.5 years ago when we brought it in, when we tabled the bill with Peter Julian, our House Leader. They voted against.
Yeah, probably because this Pharmacare plan, it's not even a Pharmacare plan, and it costs $1.5 billion a year. And that includes 2 medications. Well, family planning, all types of family planning medication, except for condoms, weirdly enough. So, good luck, guys. You're going to have to pay for that yourself. And 2 types of diabetes medication. And it costs $1.5 billion. Could you imagine universal Pharmacare for all medications? We wouldn't be able to pay for that. We'd be poor. At least half of our paychecks would go towards taxes for that.
They have broken promise after promise for 20 years. So it's no surprise that they fought every step of the way. When we put forward this idea, they tried to find ways to wiggle out of it. They delayed, they dragged their feet, they missed deadlines. They proposed draft bills which were completely, utterly insufficient, not good enough. And there were many times when we thought this is going to be it. We're not going to be able to move forward with them. And so we fought hard. We did not relent. We continued, and we were able to push Justin Trudeau and the Liberals to achieve this. But now I've got a message for Justin Trudeau. I'm worried because we know that there's Conservative premiers that don't want to see people in their province get access to free birth control. They don't want to see people get access to free diabetes medication or devices. We know that Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives would cut this. And so this Pharmacare that we've achieved is something that could be so amazing, but it's very fragile. It's fragile because of the cuts of Conservatives and that threat of cuts. So my message to Justin Trudeau is you can't delay and drag your feet the way you did to get to this point. You can't fight us at every turn like you did up until this point. Now you got to
watch it, Jagmeet. Watch it. You're towing the line that you can't, not supposed to cross when you're outside Parliament. You're starting to say the Conservatives are saying things they haven't said. Conservatives have never said that they don't want Canadians to get the medication they need. They just have said that they don't want to charge Canadians that don't have these ailments for these ailments. They don't want to tax them. Now, you can be against that as the NDP. You're pretty much a socialist, which makes sense why you'd be against it. But don't say people have said something when they haven't, because there are repercussions to those actions. Especially when it's said outside Parliament. When it's inside Parliament, it's fine. You can say whatever you want.
Get to work and meet with provinces and territories and get deals signed. That is the only way that people will actually receive the benefit. That's the only way that people in our country who are living with diabetes can get the medication that they need. It's the only way that women can get access to free birth control is if you sign deals. And so that's going to be our message. And I think about what this could mean to people. When I think about Linda, who I met in Port Moody, a senior who is on a fixed income, retired, has some coverage, and still pays $3,000 out of pocket for her diabetes. She was diagnosed in her 20s, and she figures that this is probably the least she's ever spent out of pocket, $3,000 a year. So for over 40 years of having this illness, she spent over $120,000 just to stay alive. If we can move forward and get provinces to sign deals, that means that a young Linda today won't have to look forward to a lifetime of having to spend money out of pocket to stay alive. She will know that she can get that medication without any worries. That's what the promise of this bill is, and that's why I'm urging Justin Trudeau, you got to get to work now and sign deals with provinces. I'll do that again in French, and then I look forward to your questions.
So I really feel bad for people like Linda who have ailments, especially diabetes, because diabetes is a terrible ailment that the cost of medication is way too much. So I don't get why you wouldn't just get money to put into diabetes research or just diabetes research. I'm not going to be going into family planning research. But I think back to the president who had polio, right? And he asked everybody in America to donate a dime, and so they can conquer polio and find a cure for that. And so the people of America all donated a dime, and they found a cure for polio by using that money. And when the doctors and all that, I guess they were scientists, so the scientists came back and they were like, okay, how much do you want to charge for this polio vaccine? The president was like, well, this was fundraised by the American people, so it's going to be free for the American people. That's exactly what the NDP should be doing right here. They should be creating a program where they can fundraise or use create a fund of tax dollars to go to medical research for diabetes medication or for better diabetes medication that costs less than it does right now. But of course, they're not going to do that because of all of these companies that we get our medicine from. They're probably loving this right now. They're probably loving the amount of money they're going to get from the government of Canada for all of this medication. Anyways, that's my view on how I think Jagmeet Singh should have done this. But that's just from a guy who reads a lot of news on the internet, and that's about it. Let me know what you think down below, and for quote-unquote Pharmacare bill, how would you implement something to bring down medication? Anyways, let's continue.
Ready for your questions.
How long are you willing to keep the Liberals in power, to keep propping them up so that those deals happen?
Right now, our focus is on this bill is passed. Now we want to see deals signed. So our focus is on forcing this Liberal government to get those deals signed. Like I said before, when it comes to any bill or motion, we will look at it and make a decision what's in the best interest of people. But today, the first day after Pharmacare has now been made the law of the land, our focus is on getting deals signed so people can actually get the benefit.
Mr. Poilievre.
And how are you going to do that? How are you going to force the Liberals to force the provinces to take on your Pharmacare program? You got these premiers who most likely have their own Pharmacare plan in their own provinces already. why would they take on your Pharmacare plan that only covers 2 diabetes medications and family planning medication? It would be ridiculous. But I mean, they did it with the carbon tax, so anything's possible, I guess.
Mr. Polyev says that.
Just as a follow-up quick, will you commit to the Canadians that need this coverage that this Pharmacare is providing, that you will not topple the Liberal government until they have the coverage?
Our focus is making sure people get help. We want to make sure that people actually get the benefit of this law. And so we are going to now focus on putting pressure on the Liberals to actually sign agreements. We want to see that happen. I want to see people have free medication when it comes to diabetes and free birth control. I want to see that happen.
Mr. Polyev says that Pharmacare is a bad deal for union workers because it will result in the elimination of drug plans negotiated as part of collective agreements. What do you make of that criticism?
Pierre Polyev is telling on himself that he has no idea what unions actually do. Unions are very much in favor of this. Workers are very much in favor of this because they know that having to negotiate medical benefits that include drug coverage on the negotiating table or at the negotiating table is incredibly costly. They would love to have this taken off of their table, their plate, and use that money for better pay, better wages, or other benefits. They are very much in favor of this. And it shows that Pierre Polyev has no idea what working people actually care about because unions and labor movement have been demanding universal pharmacare for a long time. So it shows you Pierre Polyev is not interested in helping out workers. What he is interested in helping out is big pharmaceutical companies who don't want to see universal pharmacare. That's whose side he's on. He's on the side of big corporations. We've seen that again and again. He's on the side of corporate landlords, the side of corporate grocery stores, and in this case, the side of big pharmaceutical companies that don't want people to have access to free medication because it's going to cut into their bottom line.
I have a question for you. How are you planning?
Jagmeet, I don't think that's correct. I think the pharmaceutical companies love this because the pharmaceutical companies get their money either way. It doesn't matter whether they're getting it from the consumer or from the government. It's the insurance companies that are going to be ticked off about this. So if you're going to insult the conservatives, you got to pick the right companies, okay? Just trying to help you out here. Also, I don't know about unions and all that. I've never been part of it. So let me know down below whether unions actually want this or not. But this isn't free pharmacare. It's not free. It comes out of our taxes. This $1.5 billion with a B is going to come out of our tax dollars. Whether you're the poorest Canadian or whether you're the richest Canadian, it's going to lower your income at the end of the month. That's it.
Planning on forcing the Liberals into these deals when you said yourself yesterday you're not talking to them. So what tools do you have if you're not talking to them to force them into this?
We're here at a press conference. We're letting people know that this is now signed, and I'm letting the public know that the Liberals dragged their feet on this. Justin Trudeau did not want to do this. It was a fight. It was a battle. Now that the bill is passed, I can tell you, it took everything that we could muster to fight them and fight Justin Trudeau to get to this point. He did not want to move forward on this bill. He did not want to move forward on Pharmacare. He did not want to cover medications for people living with diabetes or birth control. He did not want to do any of this. We had to force them to do it. And so now I'm telling a message directly to Justin Trudeau. Don't do the same thing when it comes to negotiations. Like, people need to know this bill is passed, but the only way that someone sitting in Ontario right now, someone in Saskatchewan right now is actually going to benefit from this, someone in the Atlantic provinces, the only way they're actually going to benefit from this law that's been passed is if Justin Trudeau signs agreements. So I'm letting the public know, and I'm letting Justin Trudeau know, next step has to be signing agreements.
I just want to follow that.
So you say you fought and you clawed your way to get this bill, and you really, really worked hard for 2.5 years. You had all that power with the supply and confidence agreement to pretty much make Justin Trudeau do whatever you wanted. And you pretty much got a framework bill. A framework bill for 2 medications. For 2 medications for the same illness. Congratulations. Most people would think that's a failure, but he's not even a millennial. He's not even the generation that had participation awards. So I thought Gen X was supposed to be the gung ho. Let's go get like first place generation.
You have leverage in Parliament right now. You're the leader of the fourth party. You can still help prop up the government if you wanted to get more extractions of things like additional drugs in Pharmacare, but you've chosen not to speak with them right now. Just strategically, can you explain why you're not even negotiating with the Liberals right now to try and get more things out of them?
Well, we're letting Justin Trudeau know right now what we want to see happen. We want to see deals signed. I want to see people get access to free medication when they're living with diabetes. I want to see free birth control happen. So I'm letting Justin Trudeau know right now. I'm letting the government know right now. You dragged your feet to get us to this point. We had to fight you every step of the way. Don't drag your feet when it comes to negotiations. Start negotiating now, and let's get those deals signed.
Is this like an override?
So pretty much you're giving out your vote of confidence for free. Because all Justin Trudeau has to do is just tell him, oh yeah, I'm in negotiations with the provinces, but that darn Danielle Smith, that darn Albertan, she's totally dragging her feet. So don't worry, Jagmeet. We're totally gonna get this back. Just vote confidence in our government, so because we really need to put this through. Oh, that's Scott Moe that's Scott Moe. He's really just bogging us down. Just vote for us for one more confidence vote, because I promise we're in these calls and we're totally gonna get this next time. That's literally all Justin Trudeau needs to do now. Because I highly doubt Jagmeet Singh is in on all of these meetings between the Liberals and the provinces talking about dental care and all of this, and this Pharmacare. And Justin Trudeau could totally use the excuse of the provinces being conservatives, that they're not giving him the deal he wants, or they're trying to alter the deal or something or other to manipulate it to say that he needs more time. And Jagmeet would be no the wiser. So pretty much he's giving it out for free, and the NDP will get nothing else other than this.
Sorry, exactly the question. Is that an overriding confidence measure right now? If you want us to count on our support going forward, you have to sign agreements with the provinces to get this program implemented.
When it comes to confidence zones, we've been very clear. We're going to look at each vote as it comes. But I'm letting people know that right now, after this historic bill has been passed into law, it is now the law of the land. I want to see these deals signed. So I'm letting Justin Trudeau know. I'm letting the government know. Get the deal signed. Let's make sure people get access to free birth control and free diabetes medication. Merci. Thank you.
If he doesn't sign the deals, will you take him down?
The craziness about this is he says all of this stuff about, yeah, we're gonna take each vote as it goes. We're not gonna vote the government down. Well, he didn't say that, but I get the sense that he's gonna vote confidence, at least him. But yeah, so he says he's gonna take all of the votes as they come, but the Speaker of the House has shut down government until the Liberals release the SDTC documents that they've been requested. And they've been shut down for 2 weeks now, so I don't think the Liberals are going to give up these documents anytime soon. So that excuse that Jagmeet Singh's giving, that they're going to take things vote by vote, it doesn't work anymore because there's no votes. They're not voting on anything. So what does that even mean anymore? What has to be asked is, are you going to vote confidence with all this stuff that's happening with no business going through in this government? But of course, like the media there, they didn't even think to ask that one question. And I'm just a random dude who watches news on the internet. Anyways, after that big long rant, so I thought I'd look up what the Bill C-63 actually says and what Canadians are actually getting out of $1.5 billion. So, if you like to take this little journey with me, let's see what we're getting. So here's Bill C-64. Sorry, I called it Bill 63. My bad. Bill C-64. It says the purpose and principles. The purpose of this act is to guide efforts to improve for all Canadians the accessibility and affordability of prescription drugs and related products, and to support their appropriate use in collaboration with provinces and territories, Indigenous peoples, and other partners and stakeholders. Interesting. It says here the purpose of the act is to guide efforts to support the accessibility and affordability for partners and stakeholders. So, does that mean an increase in stock prices? Anyone? What would partners and stakeholders gain out of a Pharmacare plan? Interesting thought. With the aim of continuing to work towards the implementation of National Universal Pharmacare. Its purpose is also to support the development of a national formulary of essential prescription drugs and related products, and to provide for the development of a national bulk purchasing strategy. So they say the principles. The minister is to consider the following principles and the Canadian Health Act when collaborating with the provinces and territories, Indigenous peoples, and other partners and stakeholders with the aim of continuing to work towards the implementation of National Universal Pharmacare. A. Improve the accessibility of pharmaceutical products, including through their coverage in a manner that is more consistent across Canada. So I guess they're just trying to create a medicine chain, which isn't a bad thing. B. Improve the affordability of pharmaceutical products, including by reducing financial barriers for Canadians, by taxing us more. Great. C. Support their appropriate use of pharmaceutical products, namely in a manner that prioritizes patient safety, optimizes the health outcomes, and reinforces health system sustainability in order to improve the physical and mental health of well-being of Canadians. Well, that's a doctor's job. So I don't feel very comfortable with the government trying to do a doctor's job. And D, provide universal coverage for pharmaceutical products across Canada. So, in any of those purposes and principles, did it even mention anything about diabetes medication or family planning medication? No, nowhere. But, maybe it says it in appropriate use and strategy. So, appropriate use and strategy. Publication, the minister must, no later than the anniversary of the day on which the act is received royal assent, publish on the website of the Department of Health pan-Canadian strategy regarding the appropriate use of prescription drugs and related products. Minister may, after discussion with the provinces and territories, request the Canadian Drug Agency prepare no later than the third anniversary of the day on which the strategy is published, and no later than 3 years after that anniversary. Okay. So right here it says, so after this passes, which is, well, let's just say today, which, because that's after they have all these discussions with the provinces and territories. The Canadian Drug Association or Drug Agency then has to implement this 3 years after. Because it's no later than 3 anniversary of the day. And no later than every 3 years. Okay, no, so this is just reports. Report the progress made in advancing the strategy. Oh, wait. Yeah, so this is all just a strategy on how we're going to implement it. It has nothing to do with Pharmacare as a whole. But when we go down here to progress reports, in the progress report, it says they require a progress report every 3 years on the progress of advancing universal healthcare or universal pharmacare. So does that mean we're not going to get universal, even this diabetes and family planning healthcare within 3 years? Because they're not saying here. At first, I thought they were saying that this universal pharmacare had to be implemented after 3 years of this signing, or within 3 years of this signing. But no, it just says a progress report has to be made. So literally, the NDP got nothing. There is nothing in here that says, unless I'm reading the wrong bill, but yeah, unless I'm looking at the wrong bill here, this says nothing. Nothing about any medication whatsoever must be implemented within 3 years. It just says a progress report of this universal healthcare has to be implemented. Now let's see. We have committee of experts. Committee of experts. The minister must no later than 30 days after the day on which the act receives royal assent establish a committee of experts and provide for its membership to be made or to make recommendations respecting options for the operation and financing of national universal single-payer pharmacare. The committee must, so this is the committee that they set up, no later than the first anniversary of the day on which the act receives royal assent, provide a written report to the minister setting out its recommendation. Okay. So, at best, if, I don't know, our government is like nuts and just somehow signs a waiver saying we're going to bypass all of the provinces. It doesn't matter what the provinces think. We're going to implement this thing. Everybody's going to get their medicine. Universal Pharmacare is on, which never happens, but in this magic land, it happens. The earliest date you're going to get free Pharmacare is October 11th, 2025. That's the earliest. But I want to stress where it says the progress reports is every 3 years, which is incredibly interesting why it's a progress report has to be implemented every 3 years if this is supposed to be done almost right away. So if there's any NDP voter out there who's thinking that this is totally awesome and it's going to save you from financial ruin, right? And you're really, really struggling with your medicine or your diabetes medicine. From what it looks like in this bill, don't bank on it. At least don't bank on it for a whole year, because you're not going to get it. Because what it says from here, in a year from now, all we're going to get out of this is some recommendations on a universal single payer Pharmacare. And then 2 years later, there's going to be a progress report made. And that's all you're going to get. So, all I got to say here is good job, and Jagmeet Singh and NDP. You scraped and you fought and used all the powers you had, and all you came out with was this shell of not even Pharmacare. But what do you guys think about this? Do you think it's good framework for what we might have in the future? Or do you like the idea of Pharmacare? Do you think it's a good thing for Canada? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you like this content, leave a like. If you could also subscribe, that would be awesome. I'm trying to get to like 500 subscribers by the end of October. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would be awesome. And have a good day.